Morning, guys. This is Michael, and with another Championship Manager update to round out my first decade in management. And what a decade it's been. Um, can't really hide this, can I? Yeah, we'll get to that. I'll start off with last season. Um, we had a bit of problem with this season. It seems like our usual problems just kind of came about. We had terrible league form, particularly around Christmas, and I didn't buy anybody in the summer. Like I've looked at the squad and just thought, well, we've got some young prospects, and we'll just basically use them to supplement the squad. And it almost backfired. Yeah, and we're staying in the Champions League as well. We got a lot of money from the group games, but ultimately we went out in the second group stage. Yeah, and we just couldn't get any form going until I made a decision. Um, yeah, those two there both came in halfway through the season, and they were both on protected contracts, which is how I managed to get them so relatively cheap. Um, Javier Saviola had been kind of disgruntled at Barcelona for a while, but he was still performing good, and I've always seen that guy as like someone who just never leaves Barcelona. Um, or it seems like nobody seems to put a bid in for him when he becomes technically available. So I went with it. I put the bid in. He liked the idea of 85 grand a week, so just give it to him, and he made a bit of an impact. Same can be said for Rafael van der Vaart as well. I needed more midfield players, so he was there and he was available with an unprotected contract, so I had to go for it. And I'll go back to my fixtures. No, what? Oh, balls. Sorry, I'm still trying to. I don't know why I'm trying to hide the fact that I've won the Premier League this season, because you can see it. But yeah, back to fixtures, and I'll show you Saviola's debut. Yep. First match in the Newcastle shirt. Down to the Stadium of Light. 2 goals in 5 minutes, the first of which was a 40-yard screamer. So that's one hell of an impact. The problem with that is I wasn't too sure where to play him. Usually with centre forwards, I'll play them behind the striker. But with Saviola's, like, with his stats being what they are, I wonder if he can plough like a lone furrow as a solitary striker. And with like his Barcelona stats, he's got those kind of he's got that record really in front of goal that can lend himself really well to being a lone striker. But yeah, and they're the kind of like transfers that I'll make that can really backfire on us. It's like I've never known Saviola to get like too big for his boots or disgruntled. I think at Barcelona he was getting a lot of media attention, and whoever the manager was at the time just decided that, he needed to keep his head down. So he thought he wasn't getting the support from his manager, and that's how it happened. Yeah. So they came in, and I had to deal with a lot of pressure from the dressing room. I've always thought with this year that the board's kind of got my back, and the fans just think I'm class. So when the dressing room started, not exactly rebelling, but getting kind of annoyed by our league form mainly, it got a bit sketchy. Luckily, we finished pretty strongly. Aside from the defeat to Man United, we did pretty good in terms of league form. I guess the League Cup, no, not the League Cup, the FA Cup counts as our token cup run for the year, which ended spectacularly against Arsenal. That's a shame, but to be honest, in that run we didn't really play anybody of note till Arsenal. But yeah, that league form got us 4th spot again, which I think just illustrates how bunched up the league's got over the last couple of years. So we got another year of Champions League football, and this time around we'd be able to play the likes of Saviola and Van der Vaart, because they're now eligible. I think previously they were cup tied or something. Obviously they would have already played Champions League football with their clubs. Yeah. In terms of our first season of Champions League football, like I say, it ended prematurely, but it's like 12 guaranteed games, providing you get through the first group stage. Nothing really happened that was great in the second group, to be honest. Although we did knock out Bayern Munich, and getting draw and then beating them 2-1 at St James's. Yeah. And it was an opportunity to play some of the younger players as well. Guys like Cobb, who seems to develop quite nicely, but I'm not too sure where to play him. To be honest, we've got quite a few options in that position. So he kind of, you see this season, he got 10 games. Chris Kelly did, trying to think, did he do alright that season? Nah, he didn't. This season he's fell out of favour. I'll go into that. Because I did have some problems with the board. First problem, there was Daniel Jensen, who you might have glimpsed had left. I had to transfer list him really. His agent decided to start a transfer rumour, which unfortunately, once that kind of happens, you either wait for the rumour to just kind of die down, and then for for the players just to forget about it. Or in this case, the board took note and said we never want to see him in a Newcastle shirt again. But I still played him that season because he was not bad. His average rating was higher. It was like 7.5 at some point. But because I was using him kind of like, he's the kind of player that, like, I think because the team around him weren't too thrilled, he didn't really excel. Excuse me. So he had to go, and he went for pennies, really. I mean, oh man, I could buy him back. Oh, I could do that. I could really stick it to the board. I can't believe he's got that. But oh yeah, he's already going to Portsmouth. Damn. I mean, that's really mad though, because he's like, I do hate players that go like to new clubs year on year. I prefer players that are going to settle and be loyal. Obviously, in this case, there were some mitigating circumstances. It's like I really like this player. I think, you know, look at those stats. His work rate is shit, which is why he's like sometimes his form's all over the place. But he's still like, he's a player that you basically you work with and you put up with, because he's just really, when he's good, he's really good. And he was having, like, he wasn't upset when I was like kind of leaving him in and out of the squad. He was enjoying playing for us, and because the board demanded he go, I had to. And I'll say the same thing has happened with Chris Kelly. Bit of a shame with him because he's still young. Obviously, I had to bring someone in to replace him, but he's still here, which is why there's too much competition for a 13th place. I'm hoping Dundee are here to actually put the money down and just move him on. Like I say, he's had a couple of games this season, but I've had to kind of freeze him out. He was the one that, as soon as I transferred it to him, it seemed like the players that were upset changed their tune and said they were happy that there was action being taken. So, and to be honest, I go through central defenders just like nobody's business. I mean, you've seen on this playthrough, it's like I can't get them to find any serious form, and that's a bit of a shame. So yeah, despite all that, Champions League football, we finished fourth. We got, I don't know if it was a record point haul or something, or yeah, it might have been a point haul, just because of all that form that we found at the back end of the season. And I was wondering if we would carry that form into this season. Also, back when I was signing Saviola and Van der Vaart, I brought in Matteo Ferrari, who I'd had my eye on for a while. To be honest, I would have preferred to get an English defender in, or Frederick Wisp, who currently plays for Sunderland. I tabled a bid and they accepted it. It was 9.5 million. Unfortunately, he didn't want to move to a rival club, so it didn't happen. So I went for Matteo Ferrari instead, who was getting bids thrown at him around about that region. So I went for it. You can see this season I've used him mainly as a substitute. His form has been iffy, to say the least. And again, I don't know what it is. It must just be like, there must just be one centre back slot that's just cursed, and it's just going to happen again and again. So that might just be something I have to deal with. And yeah, we won the Premier League. We did keep the form up, and I'm kind of amazed by it. Yeah, let's just show you the league table. Yeah, let's move off the league table. Jeez. Right. Yeah. Came down to the last day. We were already 3 points ahead because we had a game in hand in midweek, and we narrowly beat Man City 2-1, which gave us the 3 point gap. And I was looking at the goal differences thinking there was like a 5 goal swing that could have happened. We lost 2-1 to Leeds, so I was looking at the Chelsea result thinking, right, that could be pretty terrifying. But they've drawn 13 games, and the 13th game was against West Ham. So Chelsea bottled it, and I'm glad they did. Yet again, Anthony Shandran, he's had a pretty solid year. A few injuries probably stopped him from taking that outright. Plus, when I saw Man United had bought Madeira, I kind of shat bricks, because I thought, I mean, look at him. Look at the lion Torag. You're not even a real player, you're just some bloke in Portugal who wanted to be in the game. And now look at you. None of this is real, it's all lies. If you're so good, how come you haven't got more international goals? How come I've never heard of you outside of this game, mate? Huh? Not that I'm bitter or anything, like, Anthony Shandran's had a good year. And I bought an understudy. I feel like part of the league feels a bit like divine intervention. So yeah, if you remember him from the last video, I was a bit weirded out by the fact that it was the Scottish international with a Spanish name. I'm still trying to figure out who that would actually be, because there's got to be like the Spanish player that was in the Scottish League that got nationalised, and now Scotland's got to him before the Spanish. Yeah, so he came in as an understudy mainly because in the last season Shandran was being a bit suspect on his form. I've noticed now over time he's getting less prolific, but he'll have games where he doesn't really score, but he still kind of performs. But in last season he was struggling to like really hit any sense of form at some point, and he only came good at the end of the season. So I brought in Jesús to act as an understudy and at least give him some competition, and he's worked out decent. There's still some issues with squad depth. Yeah, so you've got the likes of Kerr, you've got Saviola, concerned with that. I'm going to have to work on that over the summer. And Cort's requested to be transfer listed because he's not really getting the game time. Michael Chopper left and is still on the free transfer list, which weirds me out. I don't know when Zongo is going to get nationalised. Oh, it's happened. It's already happened. Get in. Because with Saviola getting here, he's not getting the games that he used to. And you'll notice that Edwards had to jump in for Carrick, who was severely injured. He was out for like 7 months. So he's just winding that one down. In terms of young players, I've shown you Cobb. Miller's still kind of on the cusp. I'm happy that he's happy because I need to give him a new contract, I think. Yes, I do. Have a new contract. Have a new contract. I'm giving you one. Let's see. Wharton went out to Huddersfield on loan, which I was fine with. I think he's going to step up because Gibbon's 35 now. He's going to wind down. Although he's had a decent season. That's the problem with my goalkeepers. I can't commit to one of them because they're always going to have moments. Hargreaves, I think he's committed to a contract now, so he's alright. And Malcolm Kelly, he's still hovering around the fringes of the squad. I also bought Neil Russell because I needed the body in just to shut the guys up that were whinging about squad depth. And I mentioned I don't like players that move around a lot, and there's one of them. He's been kind of, he's not a place-on player, but then I kind of don't want him to when I've got Van der Vaart, Kerr, Davies and Bakircioglu. Although Bakircioglu's starting to show his age, but he's still good for assists and goals. And then Javier Saviola, he's still going to be fantastic, probably till the day he dies. So yeah, that was a big win, and you'll also notice we won the League Cup again. This felt relatively a sure thing. First Division Middlesbrough. It was a bit terrifying when we scored in the first minute and then immediately got stung, but Shandran's pulled it out and those 2 goals sealed it for us. So it's been a surprising season. I wasn't looking at winning the league this season, and I certainly wasn't looking to make it a double winning season. Champions League ended kind of how we expected it. We had Roma in the second group stage, and we battered them on the last day to secure a quarter-final spot. And Roma only let you win